When I wake up, I scroll my news articles and I came across this from In Touch and I read it. Not that I'm particularly involved with Jimmy Fallon and his relationship or even his show, but this was interesting. Jimmy Fallon and wife Nancy Juvenen's marriage is in crisis amid his rowdy partying. Now, let this article speaks to many of the themes that we have been talking about on my pages. Those close to Jimmy Fallon and his wife, Nancy Juvonen, believe the couple's marriage is in crisis as they argue about his partying, money, and living arrangements. In Touch can exclusively confirm. Jimmy and Nancy have always had a contentious relationship, but it's been particularly bad recently, an insider exclusively tells In Touch, especially during the writer's strike. They were fighting a lot, arguing over money, living arrangements, and his drinking. She's very, very controlling, and it's taking a toll. The source adds that Jimmy, 49, can be a great guy, but he has demons and he can be selfish. Okay, so you see how this person describes her. She is controlling, but they are arguing over what he is doing as far as money, partying, and drinking. And this person admits that he has demons and is selfish, but basically insults her and makes her the problem by calling her controlling. And her controlling it is what is causing the toll. Okay, let's continue. As their problems increased, Jimmy moved from New York City to Mill Neck on Long Island with no clear reason why, a second insider explains. Anyone that is in the New York area, please let me know how big of a jump it is to move from New York City to Mill Neck. Nancy and the kids spend summers and a lot of weekends at Sagaponack. Okay, so we are at that point where we have discussed these men who can just take a break or who no longer want to do the work from home thing because they don't actually want to spend the time with their wives, or the dudes that could just take these extended breaks, party, and just leave their wives to be the ones that are at home taking care of the kids. Wouldn't that cause the toll? Wouldn't that cause the contention? Okay, so Jimmy is out partying. Now, Nancy, 56, has been staying home with their daughters, Winnie Rose, who's 10, and Frances, who's 8. Jimmy has been frequently spotted at local spots, including Basil Leaf, Laura's, and Garvey's Point. The second source claims the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon host is always drinking and rowdy when he hangs out with the locals in town. He would jump up on stage and sing, take pics. He was not subtle. Nancy has let him get away with murder in the past. She partied hard with him back in the day, and he always had a lot of freedom. But this is different. They are never together. The first insider notes, if they get divorced, she's going to take every penny. Jimmy makes $16 million per year and has an estimated net worth of $70 million, according to multiple reports. So basically, Jimmy gets to still live like he's a single man. And Nancy has settled into being a mom. But the contention is coming because he still wants, he has the wife, he has what he needs to take pictures and have a certain kind of image, but he hasn't gone into the father role. That is just beyond him because he still wants to live as a single person. And so this person who, the first insider, the one who said that she was controlling, this person, which I presume is a man, is talking about she's going to take every penny. Now, I don't particularly know Nancy, but because of this article, it made me look her up. She was and still is a producer in her own right. Okay, so apparently they met on Fever Pitch. I guess he played in that, but she was a producer on that. And she produced several things in the 2000s. I don't know music and lyrics. I did know about He's Just Not That Into You. So she still has things going on her IMDb page. And she's still working. You can see this one is from 2010 to 2016. She's executive producer on these shows. She's still working through 2019. And she's still working up to this point, and even in 2020. So this woman in her own right is a career woman, but she is obviously still managing to be a mother. That's the reason why characterizing her in a negative way, because this dude is out partying and she's being stable and being at home, is particularly unfair. And to think that she is going to just take away all of his money is actually quite silly, especially since she has her own money. Okay, so back to the article. The couple met in 2004 when Nancy and her longtime friend Drew Barrymore visited the set of Saturday Night Live. However, Jimmy and Nancy didn't start dating until they worked together on the film Fever Pitch in 2005. He starred in the movie alongside Drew, 48, while Nancy's production company, Flower Films, produced the romantic comedy. So she, like I said, she is a career woman. Nancy previously recalled falling for Jimmy during an April 2020 episode of The Tonight Show. He was just so friendly and fun and welcoming, and he loved music. When I really developed a crush was when Bradley Thomas's kids came to set, and he had a little girl named Lucy, and Jimmy played with Charlie and really got into it as if they'd come to visit us. And so I think that's when my heart just sort of melted even more. So I don't know, I guess he looked like the role of a dad. The pair tied the knot in December 2007 before they welcomed Winnie and Francis via surrogate in 2013 and 2014. Jimmy hasn't shared much information about their relationship, though he penned a touching tribute to Nancy on their wedding anniversary in December 2021. So, wow, that's a lot of years in between. Here's to many more years of us crying, laughing. You'll never read this because you're not on social media, but as we know, these posts will be here forever. So I'm sure the kids will see this one day and say, gosh, Dad was a romantic. Their marriage troubles comes after several Tonight Show employees claimed the talk show has a toxic work environment. One former employee told Rolling Stone that the set has a glum atmosphere, while others claimed Jimmy would have outbursts and exhibited behavior. Meanwhile, several former employees revealed Jimmy has shown up to work seemingly drunk. One employee recalled an incident in 2017, while two others said he was seemingly intoxicated on separate occasions in 2019 and 2020 when they smelled alcohol on his breath. 8 other former employees stated that they could determine Jimmy's behavior based on if he appeared to be hungover from the night before. When something was wrong, we all knew how to behave afterwards, which was just sort of avoid eye contact, don't make another mistake. It would happen over the smallest thing. We would have to shut the whole thing down. The sketch isn't happening. And when things like that would happen, you would just beat yourself up. So, for the insiders who are talking about their marriage, understand that this is who Jimmy is. Even his employees are saying the same thing. So if he is carrying that behavior into his relationship, he is the problem. He is the problem. And if these ex-wives want to get married, but still act single, that is a problem. And it's going to continue to be a problem. And that is the reason why if women see this, they are opting out, because who really wants to knowingly take on the role of being in this alone and having to carry the load alone? Anyways, you guys go ahead, weigh in. Let me know what you think. And do you see how many of these themes are going across race, culture, religion, age, whatever? Many of these same narratives are being talked about across the board. Jump in the comments. Tell me what you think. Like, comment,